Hello one, hello all, good morning, good afternoon, good evening everyone. It's my hope that you're okay. We are here to contribute what we have in terms of opinion, views, ideas, and sometimes providing solutions for African problems. So I would like to focus on the issue concerning about seeds right now. That Africa, if we are not careful, 50 years to come, 100 years to come, we are going to be enslaved because of seeds and shortage of food production. Recently, you see many companies in the continent of Africa supplying seeds for food production, and our natural African seeds are continue disappearing. So what I want to suggest here is that as Africans, we need to look on the future, to think about the coming generation, so we can create our own African seeds bank that we protect, preserve, and sometimes produce our own natural seeds. Recently, you see some Western companies supplying GMO foods, GMO seeds. What about our African natural seeds? We have allowed other people to do business on the things that we can do our own. People are saying Africa, we have a shortage of foods, so they come with ideas of supplying seeds. But remember, before Africa, we have our own seeds. Where are these seeds go or went? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. When God created this continent, He given every kind of crops here in the continent. Africa, we have natural maize. Africa, we have natural beans, soya beans. We have bananas. We have cassava, rice. We have potatoes, yams, and all kind of food are found here in the continent of Africa. Recently, you see Africa, we are lamenting with a shortage of grain. You can wonder and you can understand that now we have entered in the tunnel of trap to think that the only food that Africa needs is wheat and grain. If you go to the rural area, we discover that maybe this time, but in the last maybe 10 years, Africans in the rural area, they are not using fertilizers. But recently you see when the war between Russia and Ukraine erupted, the people saying that Africa is suffering the shortage of food because there's no supply of fertilizer. You can wonder. So today we are depending on Russia for fertilizers. We are depending on Ukraine for grain and wheat. What about 20 years to come? So that's why I'm here to share my view that for Africa to continue to sustain and to be respected, we need to create our own African seeds bank that will keep, protect, and preserve our own African seeds. If we continue to depend on others, there is a time when these who supplies and giving us seeds and fertilizer will come to stop. At that time, Africa will suffer. We'll go to them and cry like little babies to request seeds, foods, and fertilizers. And this is going to be the big business in this continent and in the world in general. The population is growing very fast. There is a need of foods. Food is needed. And we have this effect of climatic changes. We have conflict that is distracting our foods, our farms. So all this is going to create the shortage of food or the needs of food. So to have a production or enough production of food, we need to have our own seeds. If we don't have our own seeds, we are going to buy. We are going to use a lot of money to buy seeds for food production. At the end of the day, these foods will not mature because we have a conflict. So we use a lot of money to buy seeds. At the end of the day, these seeds after plantation will not grow because we have a conflict. And this climate change, no enough rainfall, we don't have good system for irrigation. So you see how Africa we're going to suffer. And what we need as Africans is to think about the future. First of all, we need to make sure that this continent is at peace. We come together, we create our own African banks for seeds and food production, so we can be respected from there. Otherwise, if we are not careful, we are going to be enslaved again through food production, food request, and seeds needed. And you see some countries have started the strategy of keeping these natural seeds. I see some European countries have created their own seeds bank. Even America, I think, has their own bank of seeds. What about Africa? We need to think about the future. We are too late, my dear friends. If we are not careful, we are going to be affected by the shortage of food. Our natural foods and seeds are going to disappear. Recently, we are using GMO foods, and people are preaching this. So that's why I'm saying that Africa, we need to create our own bank for seeds to preserve, protect, and produce our own seed. We need to have our own industries for fertilizers instead of depending on Russia and Ukraine and other countries. Africa, we have capability, we have all these phosphoruses and all kind of elements that can help us to create our own fertilizers. Thank you.